Well, our other big focus tonight, we're right in the middle of IPL season and the ratings for the tournament are soaring. Some say better than expected. The big losers are prime-time Saas Bahu soaps. Sajay Gupta and Samriti Grover have the story.
The soap opera, Family Tear-Jerkers, takes on the cricket opera. Reality cricket with a K. It's cool, hip, has the best international cricketers, glamour boys and girls and an assortment of tycoons as team owners, making the Indian Premier League the biggest game show cricket has ever seen. And make no mistake, IPL isn't really a fight between Test cricket and T20. But actually between cricket with a K and Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. और क्या आप पांचवी पास से तेज हैं? Serials which are competing with the IPL for prime time viewing. Here's a sample. The advertising rates for soaps is about 80,000 per 10 seconds. While for IPL matches, it's a huge rupees 2 lakh plus for 10 seconds. And that's not all. TRP ratings during match timings show how Star Plus and Sony have lost a chunk of their audience to the men on the field.
While there has been a marginal impact of IPL during weekday prime, in terms of actual figures, it amounts to about a 9.5 to a 10% drop in viewership and drop in GRPs, which is also reflected in the overall GRPs of the channel.
So what really is the IPL USP? SRK as owner, team mascot Preeti Zinta, at all the matches cute cheerleaders, and of course great slam bang cricket.
This is 4 hours, 3.5 hours of unadulterated, high drama, high action, highly volatile entertainment that will unfold on your TV screens. It is the best in reality television, so to speak, where you just don't know how the game will play out, will pan out.
The game is no longer played on a 22-yard strip. There's a big picture that is unfolding on the small screen. And as of now, it seems Shah Rukh on the field is preferred to Shah Rukh in a studio. NDTV Bureau Report.
Well, for more on that story, we're joined by Atul Phadnis, the CEO of Media E2E, a close TV industry watcher. He joins us from Mumbai. Mr. Phadnis, great to have you on the show tonight. You know, many would say that these great ratings for the IPL have actually exceeded expectations. I think everyone thought initially you'd have these great TRPs, but that people would eventually get bored. How do you explain it then?
Well, you know, actually when the IPL format had been announced, one of the discussions everyone was having that within the industry was that perhaps I would just turn out to be the male answer to Saas Bahu serials, and it's, you know, I'm glad that it's exactly turned out like that. It is a serious alternative for the male and the younger members within the family, who would typically, you know, during prime time go with what their mothers and their you know, wives were watching. Today, and if you typically look at the male viewership, you know, so far, it used to be fragmented during prime time, either playing second fiddle audiences to Saas Bahu serials along with their families, or they would be watching news, you know, and scores of news channels at that point. IPL, I think, presents a serious alternative today to aggregate, you know, at a massive level, male eyeballs and male viewership. So I think it's turned out to be exactly that, and the numbers are speaking that particular story.
You actually just told us that fewer people are watching news channels as well. That's not something we want to hear. But how do you explain, though, that how the ratings have sustained actually? Again, what is it about IPL that is drawing people to it at such a sustained level? I think what's incredible is that it's been able to maintain these kind of TRPs for so long.
Well, Nidhi, if you actually look at the format of the IPL, and especially, you know, especially IPL and 2020, the format is keeping in mind not the viewers or not the watchers of the game inside the stadium, but really the home audience. So, you know, and that too a prime time audience. So the entire format of the game is exactly to suit that. You take a whole host of breaks. There are the whole pace of the game is really heightened, and to that extent it typically flows very well with otherwise a very fidgety audience sitting in front of the TV sets. So and from here on, I think the excitement could just go up. You know, we've not seen a lot of other excitement that IPL has in store for us. If you typically look at, you know, trading that could happen amongst teams as far as players are concerned, if you see some of the controversies which are already sort of coming into the game, if you see, you know, more and more rivalries will actually spring into action. Either those rivalries will be with, will bring out competitiveness between players, or it could actually have, you know, a rivalry between teams. So I think the whole format of the game is very tight, it's very short, and plus, let's not forget that it's not like a Saas Bahu serial that goes on for 6 years. It's actually a neat, you know, 2 months sort of a game. It goes away just when people are craving for more, and then it comes back a few months later to have again a phenomenal increase in ratings.
But very quickly, Mr. Phadnis, what do other primetime shows do at this time? Do you think it was a strategic mistake for some of these new shows to have launched at this particular time? Was that a big goof up?
I think, you know, people perhaps underestimated the power of IPL at that point. I mean, I think a lot of, you know, my friends in general entertainment Hindi channels were typically hoping that it's not something that's going to harm them dramatically, and that the women in the household will sort of keep their flags, you know, up. Unfortunately, that's not happened, and one of the other things that's happening, you know, is the conflict for the remote obviously is you know, sort of splitting the viewership of some of the general entertainment channels. So I don't think the general entertainment channels could have done much. They still had to go ahead with new programming that they had to get in. But I think they definitely underestimated the impact that it was going to have on them specifically.
All right. Well, Mr. Phadnis, thanks very much for giving us some perspective there on those ratings. We still hope that everyone out there is watching the news channels. We don't care if they're not watching in the entertainment. Thanks very much for joining us. Well,